as that possible counter pick could have been, but it does make sense with the combination of that Wukong and the Rumble as well, able to set up for those big team fight ultimates.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course they want to save the final pick for, you know, they could flex a Corki if they really don't like what they see in the mid lane against Faker, although Corki's pretty much safe against anything. Victor definitely does make sense on this patch. And that will be the choice here for Faker. Thinking about Kha'Zix, Viego would be much more down Oner's lane.
Yeah, I think the issue with Viego is that you don't really have a Viego composition with the rest of the team. Like, you really want something to play off of. LeBlanc, Syndra, you know, these very aggressive setup champions. I don't think any of those make too much sense. So it's going to be the Xin Zhao to come through instead. Xin Zhao, I think, kind of binds this composition together. Showmaker having a bit of a giggle. I feel like he's giggling too much for it to be Hui into the Victor.
Maybe Syndra? Xerath!
That would make sense!
I mean, beat him with the long range, there you go! And now, so this pick, I feel like, yeah, okay, you pick it against the Victor, it'd win.
AP Rakan, never. That's never happening.
Looks pretty normal on the T1 side. This side, though, that's a Xerath. In game 2 of a Fearless draft, not even game 3.
Leave it to DK to go for the crazy picks. I do think the T1 comp this time, a lot more well-rounded.
Game 2 begins right now. Alrighty, here we go. Will we see First Blood happen at the level 1 again? Probably unlikely, although Beryl is going pretty deep into the jungle. They are not on the blue side of the jungle. T1, they went for their own invade, got a couple of deep wards. One in the lane as well. They want to see what this lane swap is going to look like, if it will happen, and it does look like it will happen. As DK are sending their bot lane to the top lane.
See how long she waits to walk over? Because we have seen that specific ward a bunch of times before. We see even T1 actually ping the same location there. Saw a vision ping there. There is no vision, but they do not know that. Still playing accordingly, and it makes sense. I feel like with champions like Victor, it always feels like a Cold War race for who can have the most range. And outside of Hui, Xerath is basically the poster boy of having an infinite effective range. Really hard to get on top of him if he positions well for the T1 composition. It really is oh, that's not great. But Lucid is also just straight up trying to look for a level 2 play here. He is quite... Oh, nice. Gets the bait out there. And the problem with being Xin Zhao at level 2 is that you don't actually have access to your best skill in a duel. You don't have Q. And then also, Wukong has both extra armor and his smash, which basically means that you're not winning that 1v1. And Oner does have to peace out. I don't think it's that bad, though, for Oner, because he doesn't really waste that much time. Lucid actually spends a lot of time walking back and forth. So I have to see what the repercussions of this are in the long run. But if Oner crosses over and then gets matched and Beryl also rotates, things could get a little ugly. There is, of course, a man advantage for T1 because they have Keria and Guma towards the bot side here. But even if Lucid can just steal a camp, like Oner's on vision, they are aware that this is happening. Are they going to collapse on him? They don't know the Beryl's here just yet. Oner's not in the brush.
Beryl's also level 1.
How they know?
And he's just going to kind of run and look at him. And he's like, yeah, I'm level 1 Rakan.
Is he? Oh, he's going to try. Okay, good scryer there.
Yeah.
I think Lucid might still try to steal it.
And Oner's going to pull it out.
He's a level down. Oner's level 3.
So
I don't know about this one, DK.
Yeah, you're not really getting a whole lot done. And Showmaker also backed. So yeah, okay. A lot of waiting around just for T1 to get a very nice advantage here.
The reason Lucid isn't level 3 is because of that one Raptor he missed. So if you look at the experience bar, it's very close. Not actually going to hit it. Will hit it now, but I don't think you have a lot of kill threat on Doran this early on, so probably just going to continue his full clear. Ends up being a bit of a, even though no actual kills have been found, it's tumultuous early game, but definitely favoring T1 here early on, as we can see. Because with all those shenanigans happening, DK mostly just wasted a lot of time. Not really getting anything going.
Yeah. So definitely going to feel pretty decent here for T1, but still no first blood. You know, we're still very much in the origin stage of this game. You know, not a whole lot has happened outside of the little jungle shenanigans. Lucy going to get right back into farming. He's going to be down a camp. That's just going to happen just based on the way that this is all played out. The lane swap still kind of happened as Nancy comes in. Keria is getting burnt here, but that's a big wave, Shu. Got to be careful. I love how Jonas Strong's getting hyped as well with the zoom-ins for Shu. He's like, is he going to go for it? I think that would have been a little bit too much. As we had the very common, of course, Cassante versus Corki top lane happening throughout all of this. They're actually fighting right now, aiming. Does he have Valkyrie? Probably not.
Doesn't.
If the Q hits, I think he would have been forced to flash, but not going to happen. And Ocean Drake goes over to T1.
Yeah, aiming was trying the back there, so I imagine they were looking for a rotation, knowing that the dragon was already going to be gone. But then Doran got the cancel, which was what led to that whole sequence, and aiming taking a good beating. Showmaker not actually being able to really keep up with Faker, and that is, I think, one of the issues with Xerath. I feel like he really feels like he doesn't provide that much early game. Obviously, once you get 6, it gets a little better because you get to impact the map, but very reliant on getting at least a first item. Maybe once the inevitable Shuriman show comes out, then he can have early game laning presence, but I don't think we're there yet.
He's not that popular at the moment, so he doesn't get quite the same buffs. You know, maybe if Showmaker pops off, he gets played a bit more and can push it in that direction. This lane stayed here, framing quite nice. As it is pushing into him, he's denying a lot of CS from Doran, in this case, his lane opponents, Corki versus Cassante. But yeah, all the grub's going to go over to T1 this time.
Objectives early looking a lot better for T1. Able to get both a dragon as well as the first 3 grubs. Not a single one found there, and Lucid still playing from behind. Doesn't have 6 yet. He's not as far behind in experience as he was before. So I imagine him and Oner will hit it at around the same time, although I think Oner, with the blue buff being taken, might ding, and Lucid, just Krug's not going to do it. He's going to have to at least also clear his Raptors. Might be a window here for T1 if they want to go aggressive. He's making his way up top, and do I see the ultimate is ready for him. Lucid pathing away. I don't really think you can dive them, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's Rumble.
Diving in 2025 as well?
Well, that. And it's Rumble. If he can just ult the wave. And it seems like they're also like, yeah, no, I'm... Maybe just covering for a possible gank could also be the angle here.
There's not a whole lot happening. You know, there's not a lot of camps right now. Okay, we're going to have a bit of damage coming in on Shu. That's more than half his health. Taken down. Lucid is here. Oner spotted. And Shu just holding on to his ult, just in case. Might use it here, but we do have Showmaker making his way up. Nice, I should say. Just ready to ult if need be.
Look at the vision control here from T1. And in last game, felt like Keria and Oner were never really on the same page. Didn't see them link up. Very different this time around. I feel like they've been a lot more in sync.
It's such a barrel thing. He just walks in a direct straight line, straight into 2 people in the bush. It just happens so often.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? He doesn't have to be afraid. There's no Varusol. Yeah. No way he dies.
Everything has been calculated ahead of time.
Yes.
He knows. He is a realizer.
He's always aware. He just sometimes chooses to ignore his better judgment, is what Atlas would say.
Well, he does it percentage based. You know, he's like, the probability chance of this happening is so low that it's not going to happen. But then it happened that time, so he looks really silly.
And that happens like once every second game.
Yeah.
So I guess he's not very good at math, man.
Well, he's like, you know, it's a 60-40, so it favors me. So I'm gonna try to take the angle, but unfortunately it was the 40% this time.
All right.
Unlucky is Beryl. That's all he is.
Well, I did win 2 world championships. I don't know if I'm unlucky.
Well, yeah, just during the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
It's different.
Lucid now has hit level 7. Gonna get a Krabby here as well. I'm gonna be feeling too bad about that one. And I do think we're gonna have a actual brawl breakout in about 50 seconds for either these grubs or the dragon, because DK are being put in a very uncomfortable position here by T1 because they can't, well, you can trade and then hope you get first blood, but you really don't want to give over the feats just like that.
I mean, level 6 for Khan. All right, he hit the 40% there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that every play that now failed is a 40%er?
It just wasn't, it wasn't meant to be.
Because T1...
Luck of the draw, you know.
You can just go for either, right? They can just... And with the topside vision they have, I think you just give up the dragon, just play towards the grubs. I don't think there's a way for DK to reliably contest. But DK did play insanely aggro. Like, they even know where Lucid is. They have a Warden's red buff. They are so aware of everything that's happening. Even both sides, look at all these wards. DK doesn't get to play the game, and it looks like the feats, or at least this one feat, it's just going to get given over. They're not going to bother.
Yeah. You know, it's nice to deny the grubs as well. I don't think they really had a chance to deny it here. The flash engage Renata, shocker, does not work out. But I was going to say maybe he got the flash out of someone, but he didn't even. It's kind of missed.
It's for Cotton Core.
Yeah, so, yeah. Nice try, Keria. Good effort. Good effort.
That was a rumble. Maybe this sheds some light on why the Braum wasn't picked.
They had enough of Engage Braum.
Yeah. So now, T1, first feat already in the pocket. Gonna try their best to secure something else. And hoping that, as I say, that Beryl doesn't just give up first blood, but we've watched this player for a while, so you gotta be a bit careful. And this time around, no weird deaths by T1, no disrespect to the opponent. That alone is not gonna be enough, because we get to talk a little bit about the team fights now that the early games played out so evenly.
Chu going for a trade here. Doran lining that Q3, and Chu says, well, you wanna drop the gloves, let's go. But yeah, it's just top lane, so not much going to matter. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with the Xerath as the game comes along, because it is Victor versus Xerath. They're just farming now for 12 minutes.
Yeah, the Xerath is the one thing where I want to see the vision. But besides the fact that obviously, like, you outrange him, you provide a lot of backup fire as the rest of your team goes in. I guess that makes sense. It also means that if you go in and you hit even a little bit of your damage, then Showmaker's always going to be able to make sure that there's no people getting out unscathed and into both the Victor, but especially into Renata. I think that things like the Xerath are always going to feel amazing, because it means that you have a way of playing the game that doesn't revolve around you diving into the enemy. And they're still going to be somewhat forced to, again, with the rest of the champions that they have. But I think that particularly, like, both Wukong and Rakan are quite good at going in, baiting out, and then weaving in and out of the fight again. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Lucid, though, is here. They're turning this one around. It was a bait all along. First blood given over to Lucid, and they want a bit more. Beryl getting pretty low. Oner, he says, this is my kill, but Beryl's going to get away. Meanwhile, we got the bailout here. Lucid looks like he will get the kill and deny the bailout. Can he actually survive, too? That would be insane. They all survive after that. Unbelievable.
Never worried, 60% plays all the time, Valdez. As not only do they get the first blood, but they get 2 kills on the Wukong.
Yeah, it's Trinity Force done. He is...
Not bad.
Yeah, this is getting pretty crazy for this Wukong. And as you mentioned, the first blood as well. You know, you got Mountain Soul on the cards here. You get a fed jungler. You get a chance. Now they did a lot of damage to that top turret.
Oh,
Did you? If that harpoon hits.
Yeah, the blue trinket, nicely done there by Faker. Not trusting, and look at again the amount of vision that's available for T1. Hope we get a replay of that because that is actually it's such a good thing. They are just not. It's the one pocket where they don't have any vision at all, and the moment Wukong gets on top of Victor, it's just done. Like he didn't even have to use his flash, right? And then here, able to get the flash, then the Renata W was already ticking the bailout, so he doesn't have to do anything. Just needs to get out. And DK fans.
The DK fans are always the most passionate.
There's been a lot of ups and downs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, World was down, so
Yeah.
yeah.
They're due for an upswing.
If they get first turret blood here, though, the first blood doesn't really matter. It looks like that is going to be the case.
I mean, they're going to dive Doran here, but he is Cassante. Doesn't matter. The damage, yes, it is stacking, but first turret blood goes to T1, so they get the feats of strength on their side.
Depends on what happens to Dragon here, because I think T1 takes that. The boots are strong, but if DK then also answer with a turret of themselves and get Dragon because Doran isn't there, Doran is going to be fine, right? He's going to come back up in about 10 seconds, has his teleport available. So I'd say that's still a T1 favorite trade just because of the fact that it opens up boots. And unlike last game, I also don't feel like they had to kind of weather the storm against the poke. Well, kind of played out as half poke, half. We saw a lot of spears, but with the solo laners getting fed, it was not just that. But this time around, they have a lot of team fighting power. I don't know though. DK, they're coming in.
Trying to snipe out Guma here. It's not really doing much. That equalizer was pretty bad from CU. It's just missing everyone. Did not inspire much joy. And chains coming in, but will be cleansed off. Nice little Mikhails. Bit of damage coming in as he's pulled towards the guys he's burning. Got to be careful with that one, as now Oner in a lot of trouble. Has to go back in looking for the reset, and he will be taken out. But she will go down himself. So 1 for 1, but for T1, I mean, you get the Mountain Drake. A bit of range with the Xerath here. They're trying to siege onto this mid turret and get a bit more, as actually maybe even an engage here, but instead it's just Cassante. And the engage doesn't happen. Beryl says, better luck next time.
Yeah, that Mikhails actually, I think, ends up coming pretty clutch there from Beryl. Got that first, meant that he could cleanse Shiyu, and then Keria could have definitely used his Renata ult earlier. I think that could have actually saved Oner because they just needed a bit more time to actually get the reset. And it is with Xin Zhao, if you can get into a longer fight with your heal on your passive as well as Sundered Sky, you can really survive a lot. So instead is going to be, I think, a DK favorite trade. If you take another look, the ults, pretty bad here from DK. Yeah. Neither of them really does anything.
Oh, he actually hit Keria with 1 tick.
Yeah, it's exactly. And then T1, you got the Dragon. Like, they use a bunch of their cooldowns, and I think they should take it and leave it at that, but that's not the case.
Oh, Faker in a bit of trouble. He does have Keria nearby, though, as the Wukong doing a decent amount of damage with the fedness he got early on. But Faker is going to live, and now the rest of T1 comes over the top. Beryl will be taken out in essentially a 4v1. The rest of DK just backed away from that play.
So that the reinforcements were there, and they wanted none of it. And this time, T1, that's a classic as well. Faker in a position where it looks like it might be too good to be true. Ends up being just that. Shiyu definitely still respecting Doran. Even with Deleandres, Doran went Spirit Visage first, so between just that, as well as the sustain he gets, particularly when he ults, gotta be respectful. And Beryl going down 40%. It happens to the best of us.
Unlucky.
Take another look at what started off with Showmaker getting taken quite low.
Help me trade with this, said Faker.
Giefing there. Immediate backup from his team. Showmaker not able to quite get the damage done. And by the time Lucid was on top of him, he was the only one doing damage. There wasn't really any further follow-up. A couple of orders from aiming, for example, could have changed it, but I think DK made the right call to just let Barrel go. Do note, and we haven't mentioned this really as much, T1 might be down a little bit in gold, but not only do they have the feats, but they are sitting on Mountain Soul Point, which invalidates, I think, basically everything that DK wants to do. I think DK's comp is very reliant on getting a big upfront burst of damage and then play from there. And you can argue, like, play a little bit around the Zeref poke. Neither of those things will work once Mountain comes through. So T1, as long as they play it slow, set up for that objective, I think they're looking really good to bring us to a game number 3. Doran might be in some trouble here, but even if he ends up going down, I don't think it means too much.
Oh, Shiu trying to beat him into this fight. Doran, oh, this time it's a nice equalizer. He's burning the whole way through, but it's Cassante. Here comes Lucid, and he kind of messes up the angle. Doran's just gonna maybe run this one off aiming. No, not again. He's gonna flash forward, and he's gonna bait Lucid into it. Lucid is so dead. As eventually he does be taken out as T1, they get a big win in that pick, and now they'll look for Otacon.
And that's a Doran special right there! I thought he was dead. Clearly DK thought he was dead as well. And the overchase ends up costing them dearly as now T1 not only did they get those kills, but also Shiu doesn't have ult. As Otacon feels like it might be a done deal. Doran's still alive. We'll see if Showmaker and his buddies can turn the tide, but with the zone control, I don't think that's happening.
He's gonna just have to try to get in there and go for the steal. They are looking to take out Guma, but he's just not that weak. And now he's got the buff. The rest of T1 thinking about going in. They're just gonna back away from this one. Actually, a TP from Faker will be denied, so kind of odd positioning there, but he's gonna back away. And T1 get away with the buff, and we'll look for another push.
Really big win for T1. And yeah, DK, I was about to say, you gotta hightail it towards that dragon. You cannot give away the Mountain Soul. Shiu doesn't have his TP available, but neither does anyone on T1 have TP. The problem now is that even if you win the fight, that in of itself is not going to be enough. As we take another look at how Doran got to survive, because it felt like a done deal. First gets the reposition, and gets over the wall, and then this is kind of insane, and just a couple of hit rockets would have been the end of it. Lucid, just as you point out, misses up that W. He also could have ulted. And then, insult to injury, Guma's ult hit, aiming doesn't immediately get out of it, then the flash W connects. And now, they might lose Soul for that, and that would bring us to, I think, almost guaranteed game number 3, Valdez.
Yeah, I'll have to wait and see how this one does play out. It's still at least an even gold state, so maybe there's a fight that DK can take. Lucid, though, spotted on the flank. And
get the dragon. The problem is that you don't actually kill anyone, but there's no TPs. I think T1 should just send it.
I mean, you've got the buff, right? You've got the res. Lucid spotted. He's ulted away. He's not able to get in range. They don't even commit to this one, DK. As, yeah, just going to McHale's the slow off, and DK back out of that. So Mountain Soul over to T1. No Baron, and I mean, at least for DK, maybe you can kind of just wait out the timing as Faker's just kind of wandering into the jungle. He's like, I will use this. I'm using it, guys. Please take me down.
I love how DK is just like, no. Not doing it, which...
Please get...
Well, they still get stuff for taking him down. As long as you don't trade kills, I think you still should.
Yeah, 100 gold.
Yeah. That's still 100 gold if you don't...
Sure. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Instead, they'll just wait until it's gone, which it should be relatively soon.
Same for the end of the game, right? That's what you're...
I don't even believe that this game is is over.
No?
Because, yes, T1 got Otacon, but a lot of times we'll see teams just like win early to mid and then get Otacon and just kind of win the game off of that.
Yeah, but I don't care about the Otacon. I care about the Mountain Soul.
Yeah, they have Mountain Soul. And the Xerath is like, he's there with a Rumble on his team.
Well, I did go
Which
blood.
is the
It did
other
actually
thing.
go Bloodletter, so that should help.
Yeah. But like,
What's next?
it's
Abyssal?
still double AP into Cassante who has Spirit Visage.
Yeah.
Maybe you, a lot of times you can see the thought process in DK's team fighting. It's like, we're going to blow up a squishy, generally Guma, sometimes Faker. But
Well, Faker also went for, like, the ability's gone for, he's beefy. Because he hasn't upgraded them yet, but he has the Merc Treads, which will have a shield, then he's Archangels and Cosmic Drive. So he's not, and he also has gone Resolve Tree. I forgot the exact runes that he's gotten, but gotta imagine that he is going to be tough to take down.
Bone plating. Saw it a lot in the laning phase.
That makes sense.
So that's one. I don't know about the other.
Gonna be tough, suffice it to say. Showmaker going for Shadow Flame. I imagine just Void stuff next. Everyone on DK should prioritize trying to get as much shred as possible because those resistance are going to be beefed up. And as you're saying, game isn't over, but I'm feeling good about a game number 3. If it, you know,
I wouldn't mind it at all. Yeah.
No, you know, this is more of a thinking man's game.
Yeah.
You know, the previous one was mayhem. This one, well, I say thinking man's, but then we had that sequence of play from DK just now, so maybe not. Maybe
Thinking
not.
man. Game.
Okay, who is the thinking man?
T1 in this case.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
DK not doing a lot of thinking, a lot of instinctual reacting. That's the word. Barrel spots them and then just runs away. You don't need the Xayah. You can just play Corki with Rakan. T1 going for T1 Baron, just going to start it up on Vision and say, okay, come at us. And what are you going to do about it? Keria is getting chunked by this Corki, but now with the TP coming in, they want to turn around and run away. Aiming in a rough spot. Lucid goes for the ult, but they take T1 off the Baron. Keria is still pretty low, but Lucid did use this ultimate ability, so did Beryl. So still 5 ults here for T1. And to be honest, I mean, they might just start it up again. They have total control of this area of the map, so really the onus is on DK to try to check it.
But they can also keep trading health bars, quote unquote, because they have the shield. So you can see, as long as you use that, it's going to be really hard to win. There's another TP. This time it's Faker.
I mean, the flanking Victor, not as crazy, but Oner's getting in there. He's really making this happen as now the flanking Victor trying to burst down Showmaker, and that he will with the help of Guma. They get a couple of kills, and Guma will survive as well. And so I guess that flanking Victor was pretty good after all. And Lucid,
Can he even kill Doran? Yes, ult. Oh no, sorry, his ult just timed out.
Yeah, I guess he's got Corki. Okay, that's a nice little pick. Doran's just gonna get picked for free.
Yeah, they have he has Cleaver. Good enough. Corki is his passive. They're able to get through him. That was definitely one of the most proactive Victor plays I've ever seen. Do appreciate that. TPing in, flashing off.
Yeah.
Call, getting the Mega Storm. And they'll get Baron, but who cares? They further solidify the gold lead. Take a bunch of crucial cooldowns. No flash for Showmaker, Shiu, or for aiming. Take another look at the replay here. And it's Oner that actually this time around able to get the setup that he needs, right? Keria forces an early flash. Then even after Showmaker flashes, Oner still connects the ult, gets the knock up. And then Doran tanks while Faker blitzes through.
It's kind of insane. Guma had like 2 people on him, and he was getting peel, yes, and he had the bailout, but he was still able to kind of have the wherewithal to get the snipe on a Showmaker to finish him off.
Yeah.
Like, it was very clear that the comms were clear, in fact, and everybody was like, okay, kill Showmaker, he's out of position, he has no flash. So nicely done by Guma and Faker there.
T1 clearly tightened it up after game number 1. The only way they lose is if they... Oh my god.
Nice equalizer, but that's a Xin Zhao. So not really amounting to too much. Zeo now in a really rough spot, just totally caught up. Barrel as well just joins him. He says, I won't let you go down alone. Lucid just spinning in the back line. As meanwhile, Doran is just diving. He is Cassante. He's like, okay, turret changes, whatever. And he's going to go down to it, actually. Oner, as well, in a bit of trouble here. Ult's coming down, and actually he's totally fine. The rest of the team, T1, does come in and clean him up. There's the ace. And T1 feeling pretty good about their situation here, looking for Elder.
As I was about to say, the only way you lose this game if you're T1 is lose Elder, and they don't lose it. They don't flip it. The amount of burst that comes through there on the barrel, absolutely disgusting. Ends up being enough, and then Keria finds both a great ult to zone away the damage dealers while also getting the handshake to put Chiu in a position. But as you're saying, Barrel so graciously decides, well, might as well look for the turnaround. The turnaround does not happen. Toaster oven not hot enough. Chiu, unfortunately, in this game, not nearly as big as it was in the last one. And then Doran goes down. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Elder is going to be picked up. I guess they waited as long as possible for the respawn, or I'm not sure if it was the respawn or if they just want to have the buff for as long as possible to guarantee Baron and Elder uptime. But I don't think we're going to be seeing anything else. As Lucid, this is a Challenger special. He still got it.
Where are you going, buddy?
A year into the LCK. Yeah, he tried to go for the Hail Mary steal, but he's dead. Oh, well, might not be dead, but
now he's dead. Right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Well, he's W, but like
nice little dodge.
Well, he's getting collapsed on. He's dead.
No, they. Oh.
Yeah.
It
didn't.
Dead.
Well, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Well, that should be Exodia here in just a moment. For T1, they'll have Elder and Baron. As Doran,
we now have two separate timelines, Valdez, because this is either about to be the funniest story for DK fans about how I did the classic DK thing of stomping game 1, doing a weird pick game 2, and then losing the series.
Yeah.
Or they finally turn it around. And for T1, if they do end up winning, it's the classic lose game 1, win the next 2.
Yeah, or like win game 1 and then fool around in game 2 and then win game 3.
Yeah.
And like they do, both teams do this all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like we come into every new year and we're like, new team, new players, new us. No, it's exactly the same.
Oh, nothing ever changes. Because TP comes in, and all that's left standing is the Nexus, and I don't think it's going to be for very long, Valdez.
Yeah. At this point, Exodia acquired. You've got so much poke with Varus and Victor. And Keria's just going to send an ult in, knowing that they're going to have to stop them on these turrets, but they're not going to stop anything except themselves, as Doran will go down, so they got him, and that's about it. That's a gigantic storm, and he's actually going to be sniped there, as down will go the Nexus. It is a Quadra for Guma, and there you go. T1 will